up, y'all? Welcome to Girlopeutic. It's your home of therapeutic girl talk. Alright, today we are going to discuss, it's a video that I saw on TikTok, and I'm going to show y'all just a little snippety snap of the video, okay? But it is about a mom who waxed her daughter's eyebrows, right? And people, I guess, had a little bit of issue with it because I think the daughter is in middle school, and people thought that it was just a little too premature, okay? So I just want to show y'all just a little snippet of her doing that, and then we'll be right back.
Okay, guys, so we're about to wax the middle of Giselle's eyebrows, and then she said people in school are teasing her about her mustache, which she doesn't even have a mustache. She just has like a little bit of hair. Every girl has a little bit of hair right here, but we're gonna wax it because she wants it waxed. So let's do this. Hot. Ready? We're gonna take tweezers to the middle because those hairs are not coming out. Onto the mustache. All right, we got the wax. We got the wax on, and we're about to wax off.
So what are y'all thoughts about, I guess there's a couple conversations that I guess stem from this, from what I saw. What are your thoughts about doing something like that at your child's request, right? Because as we see in the video, the mother states that it was the daughter who wanted her eyebrows waxed, and then she also wanted her lip wax, but the mom didn't do that. But she wanted the lip wax because people were teasing her, right? But I guess she had her own self-consciousness about her eyebrows. So what are your thoughts about that? And then the other thing that I felt like derived from this is like, where do we get, not where, but just like how a lot of these insecurities start, right? They start at a young age, and it's whether someone's teasing you, or I could be in class with y'all and I see that one of y'all got thick eyebrows, but like, oh, they don't have a unibrow, or it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of just like the basis of insecurities and just, I don't know. Like, what do y'all think about that?
I feel that little girl, because growing up, like I was her, I didn't have quite a unibrow, but I'm a hair girl. You know, I've had thicker brows. My mom did let me get my eyebrows arched similar to her age, and it was mostly because, yeah, like people were like, oh, like I had a mustache too, like you got a little mustache, but that was just like the more, not necessarily saying that it's okay, but growing up, those are the common things that, you know, girls got bullied for. Oh, you got a mustache, or, you know, like, so I don't think that behavior is far-fetched by any means, and I don't see anything wrong with it if it's causing her insecurity, even outside of the kids at school bullying her. Like, if she personally feels like, I want to do this because it'll make me feel better about myself, cool. It's not like she's going out there, you know, not looking like however old she is. She's just simply taking care of something that's going to make her feel better about herself. And I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it either, but to the point of insecurities, I do think it is kind of unfortunate because sometimes we don't know anything is wrong until somebody says something.
Exactly.
Because I literally remember being in middle school and playing basketball, and my basketball coach said something to me about my eyebrows. And I never thought anything was wrong because this is what I've looked at and this is how I've looked. So I just thought this is what I'm supposed to look like. And it wasn't until she was like, girl, you got the werewolf eyebrows. And after that's when I was like, oh, I guess they are kind of thick. But I think it is sad about, a lot of times we don't even have insecurities until somebody says something to us.
That's very true. Very true. And I think as we get older, a lot of times people say, you know, things like that out of jealousy or some other type of like ulterior motive, and it has nothing to do with us, you know, per se. Like, so I think as I got older, you know, I realized, well, I like my brows. You know what I mean? Like,
and people want thick
and
eyebrows,
people want
eyebrows and all that stuff.
Right. Whatever the case may be, I think. But how do we get people to be comfortable? Because not everyone gets to that point. You know, not everyone gets to the point to be secure and comfortable with themselves, despite what someone may say. And I think for children, it's crucial and very important that they know that, because they're very impressionable, and that little girl could have easily, you know, not went to her mom and held that in.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with what that mom did, but in like a previous video I mentioned, some things should be private, because now you're opening up your daughter to possibly all these strangers are gonna be like, girl, why you let your child walk around with them, like saying different things, when if that's what she wanted to do, maybe she didn't want everybody. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just saying some things you could have just done that for your child
and let it
and kept it go, because now you done opened her up to criticism. You've opened yourself up to criticism when it's really not a big deal, because it's not like she has her eyebrows arched, like you said, she looking like a grown woman, or she literally got rid of the unibrow. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I would do it for my kid if my kid wanted that.
I would too. In a way that is, as was just stated, it's still appropriate for her age. And although you can't protect children from everything and experiencing everything, and you're going to have somebody bad kid out there who, you know, is going to say stuff, if there are certain things that you can help with, then you should try to find a way. So if waxing your unibrow, I can tell you that it's beautiful. I can tell you that I love it, right? But if you still look in the mirror and that's what you see, and it is something that we can do about it, that doesn't require you to have anesthesia or nothing like that, then let's do it. It could be teeth. You could want braces. Let's do it, because that's something that is going to make you feel more comfortable. So although you can't avoid everything, I think as a mom, I would want to support my child in that if you feel like kids are bullying you because of your mustache or whatever, yes, there is a conversation that should be had initially about it, about how every woman got a little bit of peach fuzz and all these other things. But in addition, if my child, after having that conversation, after thinking it through, if that's still what you want, then that's what we can do. It's age appropriate, I think. She's in correction, she's not in middle school, she's in 5th grade. That's elementary still, right? She's in 5th grade. But yes, and even when I think about just how certain insecurities are adopted, honestly, I think every insecurity that I had and have, right? Because if I'm being honest, there are still some insecurities that are from my childhood. But though someone gives you that insecurity, before that, I didn't know.
You didn't think anything of it.
Exactly.
And I think it makes it worse when it's something that you literally cannot change. Like, you know, for me, like, you had yours, mine was being skinny. Like, that was always the thing. And I didn't realize that was a thing until it was constantly told to me all the time, you know. And for a while, I was just like, okay, like, all right. And then it really started getting to me, because it's like, well, dang, do I look sickly? Like, I be seeing other people out here who got the same body type as me. I ain't saying none of them. That's how I felt. But I didn't start, you know, feeling confident until like high school, because that's what I've heard my whole entire life up until recently. But you know, it's just, how do we but people can go for a very long time with that stuff, and it is unprovoked. Like, like, we literally told me this, and now I have this insecurity here. Yeah, that can really weigh on somebody if they're not in the right headspace.
And that's why I like that the little girl told her mom.
Exactly.
Because then she can combat that insecurity that somebody tries to put on her. Which we don't always do. We'll just let people say stuff. Because I know for me as a little kid, somebody called me, not a little kid, but I was in high school and somebody called me dumb, and I really started to believe that I was dumb. And my parents didn't find out literally until like 2 years ago when I had to write a paper about it. And they're like, somebody called you dumb? Why did you? Because if you tell your parents, for the most part, they're going to be like, girl, you're not dumb, or you're not ugly, you're not this. And you can kind of have that support system. So I do think it's really nice that she actually told her mom, because a lot of us will just hold that in. So we do keep that insecurity because we're not listening to the people who really know us.
And that's key right there. Pay attention to the people who know you for real, because these outside people who don't know you from Adam critiquing you on whatever it is, that means nothing.
But I think ultimately, I think sometimes that can be easier said than done, right?
That's very true.
Because I can say, focus on those who know you, which is very true. But, or I could tell my mom, because I've had the same situation where my mom had to pull up on a teacher before for saying that I was kind of like almost insinuating that I was.
I remember that.
But what I'm saying is, you can have a parent who would show up. You can have someone telling you, you are beautiful, you are handsome, you are smart, you are worthy, you can blah 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 blah. But then there's also a big component of your own self-talk, right? And again, you hear something. So it's interesting that a lot of times we consider the opinions of those who don't know us that much more than those who do. Exactly. So I don't know. I don't know the full remedy, I guess you can say, of not letting that really take seat in your heart and in your spirit.
Right.
But I think if you're an adult and you have certain insecurities, or if you battle with that, I think there's a level of intentionality, I guess you have to have, of combating that even when you're saying some things about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because like a lot of times it is you repeating what someone else said, or repeating what you've viewed as beautiful, and we can't afford to view something outside of ourselves as beautiful with not first viewing that within. You know what I'm saying? Internally and externally. So I don't know if there's a full remedy, but all I could say, or all I would say, I don't know if y'all have something different, is just like be intentional about disputing your own thoughts and working through that.
How do we start letting God show us who we are? Because I always think about when with Gideon in the Bible, how he told God, like, I'm the least of my family, like, why would you choose me, basically? But God called him a great and mighty warrior, but his behavior was not that. But he eventually became that. So how do we let him show us who we are and start acting like that? Like, when you're saying be intentional, like, what can we actually do?
So, okay, hopefully this connects with what I think it does with what you're saying. But one of the biggest things that I've learned from 2022 coming into 2023 is that I have to understand and accept my ability to choose, right? So the Bible says, like, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning, right? My thought was, or my revelation was, what does that actually mean? Because we say it all the time, right? But what does it actually mean? My revelation is joy can come, but joy is of no use to me if I don't accept it. Because it can come, but if I'm not letting it in, then it's just there.
Exactly.
Because how I look at it is, the Lord says, I knock at the door of your heart, whatever. Like, if he's knocking, he's not busting his way through. You have to let him in. That comes with a choice. Okay? So if I'm looking at life as a series of choices, and even relationally, in a spiritual magnitude, that is a choice as well. Then when it comes to seeing myself as God sees me, I have to choose to understand and accept how he views me, and really accept that as my portion as well.
That's
right? Because he don't just see that for them. He don't just see that for her. It's like, he sees it for me. So really understanding and accepting, okay, in my ability to choose, I can either choose to accept how I see me, which may not be great, or how, I don't know, how others view me, which may not be great as well, may be indifferent, may go up and down. But at the end of the day, I want to make the choice to choose how the Lord views me, and accept that as my portion.
I'll definitely, because I went through that. And before, I have not been more confident now that I'm getting my confidence from the Lord ever. Like, and comparing that to how I was before, it's literally like night and day. And like you said, it's literally choosing to say, hey, this is what God says I am. This is how much he loves me. So anytime a thought comes in that makes me feel uneasy, whether it's intrusive, or anything that, and I know it's not from God because that's not what he says about me, it has to go. Because even down to conviction, that doesn't make me feel uneasy. It makes me do better, but it doesn't make me feel uneasy. So anytime an uneasy thought comes or a feeling, it's almost like, that's not from God. And typically it's the self-doubt, the negative things that we tell ourselves, you know, and that's helped me a lot in my seasons now, because the way that the enemy kind of sets up your mind for so many lies without God is crazy. Like, my mind just kind of always just felt with negative talk, you're this, you're that, you'll never be this, like. And when I started being intentional about staying in my word, because that's how we kind of get our communication and how God feels about us, it's like, okay, like, I know now this is not from anybody else. Like, this is how he sees me, and anytime something comes up, it's like instant, oh, remember, this is not from him. I know who I am, you know? That's the biggest difference for me. And I've been able to literally walk in the confidence, literally, you know, even when in the moments where I feel like I'm nervous about something, like, because I know God is here and I've been intentional about cultivating that relationship, it kind of just falls into place. So intentionality is very important.
Well, let us know down in the comments below, do you think it was kind of premature to, you know, shave your brows or shave a mustache, wax it off? Do you think, what do you think about just the topics of how we gain these insecurities, and even those that still linger on from our childhood? You know what I'm saying? Like, any tips that you have, you may be helping someone else down in the comments. So let us know, get in on the conversation. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on Instagram at Girlipeutic. And we will see y'all in the next video.